What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Welcome to my astrology series. And in today's video, we're going to be doing Leo. So, Leo is ruled by the fifth house. Um, in the fifth house, Leo is also ruled by the sun. The fifth house represents Leo, same thing. So, when you hear people talk about astrology signs and star signs, they're also talking about the house, and the house represents the seasons, and they're both intertwined. So that's where we get the concept of astrology is from study astronomy. And astronomy is just the study of the seasons, studying of the cycle. You know what I mean? And before we had clocks and things like that, that is how we would, study seasons, know when to harvest, know when to plant things, know when certain animals are coming out for hunting, know when certain animals are hibernating. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. So Leo ruling the fifth house. That has to do with that's a fixed sign. You know what I'm saying? So we had Cardinal, which was Aries. Now we got fixed Leo. Leo being the fifth house, that represents expression, but expression that is fixed. So the way you express yourself is the way you identify yourself. You know what I'm saying? And people know you for that. That's what Leo represents. It represents a fixed fire. So fixed fire is fixed expression, fixed imagination. That's how people always perceive you. That's the energy you give off as a Leo. People will always see you as that. And anytime you act out of your own character, people will be confused because they just won't feel like that's you. Like for Sagittarius, it's different because they're mutable. So they can, I mean, they have different type of expressions depending where they're at. But with Leo, you always usually have to have like a fixed imagination of yourself and how you perceive yourself. You know what I'm saying? While Aries don't really care about that. They just embody it. They're just doing, you know what I'm saying? But Leo actually take time to think of, okay, what character do I want to create? Okay, and now how do I play out that character? So Leos can be very creative once they know and they're fixated on who they are as a person and what expression they like to express. Once they figure out what expression they like to express, that's when they can actually be that proper like evolved Leo. Usually Leos will have to go through a series of discovering themselves and knowing how to be center stage and have that fixed expression of who they are. But usually it takes time, so they might have to perceive other people expression and then see where their expression lies and how it can be connected. And eventually they'll realize, okay, the greatest way for me to connect with people is by low key being self-centered, by fixating on myself. And the more I fixate on myself, that's when I'll naturally connect with other people. You know what I'm saying? But Leos shouldn't really care about connecting with other people because they're not Aquarius. That's the 180 degree. Leos need to fixate on themselves and how they are and their expression. And once they realize that, that's when naturally they will attract the crowd just by being themselves and being selfish and being. And when I say selfish, I mean like selfish, as in knowing thyself, knowing who you are inside and out, knowing how you express yourself and who you are, and being comfortable with that. And once you do that, you have this natural glow, this natural aura, like the sun. You know what I mean? Because Leo is ruled by the sun. So you have this natural glow and natural aura that people have no choice to be AK 180. You know what I mean? Whether positive or negative, whether they like you or not, they will have no choice to be gravitated towards you because you're practicing your natural energy. Leo being ruled by the sun, that's during uh well in the east, in the western hemisphere, Leo will be during June, I believe. Yeah, June, July, July. Yes, because cardinal, yeah. So during July time, that's when, like June, July-ish, that's when Leo starts within the western hemisphere. While in the eastern hemisphere, Leo will start around their summer will be around like December time. Yes. While that'll be winter for the Western Hemisphere. See, so that's how the cycle is. It's the Eastern and Western cycle. So that's how it goes. It bounces off each other. But uh, continue on that. The fifth house represents your expression, and your expression can be a form of a mental seed, and another form of seed is a child. So the more you're in your Leo energy, the more you're creating that mental child, when eventually, if you tap hard enough into that energy, can manifest as your actual children. So the way you express yourself, the way you think of yourself, the way you imagine yourself, you're also duplicating that within your children. So that's why it's very important to have a very good self-esteem, a very good, um, you have to be very, what's the word, confident of yourself and know what you're doing. And the more you're tapping into your own self and loving yourself and being confident and boosting your self-esteem, the more you're in that Leo energy. There's a difference between a unhealthy ego and a healthy ego. A healthy ego is loving yourself and knowing yourself with no apologies, while at the same time, you know, you're aware of your surroundings. You know what I mean? You're knowing, okay, is this time for me to express this self? Or is this time for me to detach from this area so I can go somewhere else to be my true self? As a Leo, you always want to love yourself. You always want to know that, okay, the people that I'm expressing myself to, they also connect to where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. Um Leos usually are very good when it comes to just anything center stage, whether it's public speaking, whether it's they're more in the art form. It's not like Leos cannot be in the sport form, but I would say Leos are more in the art form because that's where they'll really do best in. Where people can, because art is usually, people like to select certain few people within an art field that they feel like they resonate with the most. In sports and things like that, people come and go. You know, what I mean, it's just how it is. But at least in art form, Leos can really do the best there because they're like, if you can really embody your true energy of who you are inside and out, you will actually naturally stand out. And you don't even have to try. It's just how you'll be. You just stand out as a Leo. Um, so it's very important as a Leo that you're not trying to force people to see who you are. You're just being yourself, and just naturally, you being a Leo, you'll naturally have that glow, and people will just naturally, you know, connect with you and resonate with you and where you're coming from. Um, so yeah, Leo's is very bright, but you don't want to, like I said, everything's a cycle. There is daytime and there's nighttime. So as a Leo, you have to know when to be center stage and when it's also time to, kick back a little and let people miss that energy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to always keep giving because you're fixated fire. You don't want to always keep giving the same energy over and over and over and over again. And people get tired of it. It gets too hot. People are too, you know what I mean? It starts to burn. People start like their skin, you know what I mean? So you have to know when it's time for daytime, be yourself, express yourself, and then when to kick back and allow other people to do their things, and then you come back again. And people will naturally just, people have, they won't even be able to explain it why they naturally gravitate towards your energy. You know what I'm saying? It's just who you are as a person. And you're doing it in a healthy way. You have that healthy ego where people recognize that. And they would want to be under your sun, under your consciousness and your way of expressing yourself while being fixated. Um, so you have to know when, because if you want to always be center stage all the time, your ego will get destroyed when someone else is center stage. But if you know, okay, I'm confident in myself and I know who I am and I know how and what I bring to the table in terms of my imagination, my expression, or my goals, my ambitions, in what I want to achieve in this life, you will naturally attract audience no matter what because you're just being yourself. And you know that you don't have to like you don't have to feel bad if other people are like doing their own thing because you know like, okay, everyone has their time and it'll come back to me eventually because I'm just being myself. And that's when you're moving in the natural cycle of the sun. The sun also makes time for the moon to shine. You know what I mean? The sun does not just say, okay, I'm going to shine the whole time. There is no nighttime. The sun knows the cycle of existence. You know what I mean? So the sun knows, all right, it's my time to kick back. I'm going to let other people do their thing. And then when it's time for me to be, I'm going to show them what time it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to shine again. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that, you're in the natural cycle of existence and you're in the natural cycle of a Leo. And that's when everything will just start to manifest for you straight away. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that you know that because with Aries, Aries is more cardinal. So they already know they're not gonna They already know that even if they bring something into this world, or their expression and how they are in a unique, fiery sense, they might not be as remembered as a Leo, because Leo is more fixated. So people will still know that Aries, like, yo, that person initiated this thing, like they were the first one to do it. But Aries only care about, as long as people know I was the first one to do it. Aries don't care about being center stage. Aries just like, as long as y'all know I brought this, like if it wasn't for me, none of this will happen. That's all Aries cares about. They don't care if they're center stage or not. They just need you to remember they did it first. Leos care about the fame. Leo care about being known and remembered as something. So they want to live a legacy. Like, so a Leo that knows how to do that will really do that. They'll really tap into that energy and manifest that as being remembered as that person. So their face will always be on that thing. You know what I'm saying? While Sagittarius is like the old grandpa that's lived all of that, already did all of that, already was the first. He already was center stage. Now he's just like, I mean, I don't want to get too deep to Sagittarius, but Sagittarius will be like the person where it's like, okay, I can do that and do that. I can do both, but I'm just chilling. Like, I'm the grandpa. I just, you know what I mean? I already did all that, so I'm just gonna relax. And when I feel like doing it, I'll do it. When I don't feel like doing it, I won't do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the mutables are like the grandpas and the grandmas. The fixateds are like the actual kids. Yeah, the fixator will be. Let me think. Let me see it. The fixator will be, yeah, the kids, because they would want the most like attention, while the cardinals would be like the parents. Like, okay, you know what I mean? I paid for my kids, school fees, do me proud. You know what I mean? It'd be like that. While the grandparents is just like the Sagittarius, like that cool grandpa that you can go around and do whatever, like things that the parents wouldn't want you to do anyway. You know what I mean? But you being the fixated, you want to be known for that, whether it's being rebellious or not. But yeah, I digress. But yeah, that's pretty much with Leos. Leos in relationships, they need someone that will be probably like, well, Leos, I need someone that can support them, that will give them center stage. Maybe like a Libra, because Libras like to make things balance. So a Libra and a Leo go well, I believe. Because a Libra is like, okay, I don't mind you being center stage, as long as there's still some form of balance. Like, there's something that I can receive from that, whether it's money or support or whatever it is. It's just, I don't mind you being center stage. It's just, as long as I get something back, which is that, double scale energy, and there's some form of balance within that center stage. Another one would be, I think, Leo and, um, definitely not Aquarius, because Aquarius is gonna be like, Aquarius is gonna hate, because it's the 180 degrees. So Aquarius is gonna be like, why do you think you're bigger than the program? That's how Aquarius thinks. Like no one's bigger than the program. So what are you doing? What are you doing, Leo? And Leo's like, nah, like, it's all about me. So then there's that clashing 180 degree. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't work. A Leo maybe in a Pisces. I think Pisces too. They're mutable water, so you know what I mean. As long as they feel like there's some emotional connection to what you're doing, you know what I mean. As long as you're coming back, let's say you're an artist and you're touring on stage, you do your thing. Then as long as you're coming back to your wife, and you still make her feel like, you still love her and things like that, she won't mind you doing that. You know what I mean. You just have to show that emotional connection that I'll still come back for you and things like that. So yeah, Pisces and Leo would do pretty good too. You know what I mean? Libras and Leo, Pisces and Leo will do good in relationships. Scorpios, not really. Yeah, I don't think Leo and Scorpios. Yeah, because Scorpio, like, it's not like it wouldn't mind, but Scorpio also wants to be fixated on their passion. So as like, except if you have a very mature Leo and a mature Scorpio, that can work. But if they're not mature, then there'll always be ego clashes. That's that, like, Mufasa, Simba type of energy of fighting each other. But I digress. But yeah, that's pretty much it. With Leos, like I said, in art forms, things that they can really be remembered as. That's where Leos perform the best in terms of ambitions and work. Um, and relationships, yeah, Libras, Pisces, and yeah. So just to Leos, just be yourself, man. Just keep knowing who you are as a person, and whenever whatever it is that you're passionate about, be center stage in that, be fixated on that, and things will come into fruition for you. But yeah, guys, that's the video. So next we'll be talking about Sagittarius. And until next time, I'll catch you soon.